Today I will show you how I did this really cool science fiction type photo manipulation. So let's start. Hey guys, it's Nemanja and welcome to another really fun episode. Today I will show you a lot of interesting tips, tricks and techniques while we are going through this really cool science fiction type photo manipulation. And the point of this episode is of course me showing you all of these tips, tricks and techniques and you understanding the principles behind all of that so that you will be able to create something on your own similar like this or something completely different. It doesn't matter. When you know how to use the tools and all these tips, tricks and techniques, you will be able to do that on your own. Also guys, I want to say that this episode is sponsored by Skillshare, so thank you Skillshare for this really cool opportunity. For you guys who don't know, Skillshare is a really cool place to go if you want to expand your current skills or to gain some new skills. So for example, today we will have some elements that I created in a Cinema 4D in this tutorial, and if you want to know more about 3D, to learn Cinema 4D or any other 3D software, you can go to Skillshare and just learn it from a bunch of cool tutorials there. They have more than 25,000 classes in practically anything that you can think of, like Photoshop, Illustrator, InDesign, Premiere Pro, After Effects, photography, videography overall, or maybe like 3D World, Cinema 4D, 3D Studio Max, etc. Even like running, cooking, even gardening, whatever you can think of, I'm sure they have it. Also guys, if you remember from a previous episode, I showed you how I made this really cool 3D gun, how I printed that. They also have a lot of cool videos about 3D printing. So if you want to improve your 3D printing skills or how to better finalize your 3D prints, they have that too. And they're pretty affordable. The annual plan is less than $10 per month. And I'm telling you all of this because they're sponsoring this video, and if you follow the link down there in the description, you will get 2 months completely free premium account there. So that means that you will get unlimited access to all the content there. So if you want to learn some new skills, to gain some new skills, I strongly advise you to go there and sign up for 2 months completely free. After that, you can continue with the subscription or you can just cancel it, no questions asked. I personally use them lately a lot for videos about 3D printing because this is a new stuff for me and I really love them. Right guys, so now let's jump straight into Photoshop and let the fun begin. Right guys, we are here in Photoshop and this is a really cool image that we will use today that I made in a Cinema 4D. So this is a render and I made this using this free mini kit Cyberpunk parts of the building. So I use this building, see this part right here down below, this is our scene right here, and I use several more building out of this. So this is completely free. If you want, you have the link down there in the description, you can download it. This offer will end on September 30th. This is not a sponsored at all. I just ran to this website and found out that they have really cool 3D models. So if you want, you can check it out. Now that we have our background ready, let me show you a few more files that we will use today. So first among the others is this guy right here. In case you don't recognize this guy, it's actually myself with these glasses and with this really cool 3D printing gun, shooting the stars or whatever I'm shooting up there and chilling on the ground. And we have another action hero. This is Kraka, my friend, with 2 guns, and let me show you that really quickly. This is myself, as you can see, in the studio. I shot myself in the studio, chilling down on the floor, and my friend, who has actually 1 gun in this hand and completely different gun, completely different gun in other hand, because I just printed one of these guns. And on another photo, I just switched the gun from this hand to this hand, and I just use the Photoshop to cut out this hand and put it instead of this. It's really easy. I don't want to bother you with that and the cutting out because I don't want to waste your time. This is really straightforward process. Just cut the arm, put another one here and paste it in one new layer. That's it, right? And then we'll have some sparkles, some sparks here, some explosion, and the robot right here. So these are all the elements that we will use today, and we will make some smoke and some other effects, some gunfire muzzles, etc. And you will see that as we are going through the episode. Okay, so first thing that I want to do is to put this guy in the scene by just copy and pasting him here, and I just want to match the size, the real size of this guy should have that if he is really there. So if you watch all my tutorials before, you know that I like to convert this to smart object just to have more freedom to transform this to make it smaller and bigger without losing an image quality. So I will make him smaller, probably something like this, and maybe a bit bigger, like that, maybe move it somewhere here. So this is, let's press enter and let's see if this is cool size. I would like to unzoom always to see the smaller image. Yeah, this looks, oops, this looks really cool to me. So I will leave him this size. Maybe I can make it a bit smaller. Maybe something like this, right? And this is it. All right, now that we have our model positioned properly, we can go with myself, the other guy. And let's paste myself here. And also what I like to do, I like to convert myself to a smart object. Okay, and let's rename this. This is background. This is Kraka, and this is me. Right, I'll put him above me. And now let me show a really cool trick how to match the size of another person or another object in the scene if you have a reference object to match with. I already showed you that, but I will do it here again. So I will make myself a bit bigger. Okay, and I will position myself like this, and also make it smaller to match the size of the hats and the goggles. So something like this. So now we are like almost the same size. I have a smaller hat and Kraka, he is much taller than me. Okay, so by the goggles, this is probably it. And I will press OK for now. And now we need to find the perspective lines, so to be able to find the horizon line and vanishing point. So to do that, I will just create a new layer. Let's use this red color, why not? Brush, a bit smaller like this, and just follow the current lines in the scene. So I will press here, press and hold shift and click here, and then transform, Control or Command T, and by holding Control or Command, I will just move this in the path of this line in that way and just make it longer like that. And then I will create a new layer and do that for this line too. So this is cool. Control or Command T and just make it longer, something like that. As you can see, where those points, those lines are intercrossing, we can find the horizon, and this line and other lines here. Maybe show if I go with this line and just expand it a bit, it will cross here. So here, somewhere here is like a vanishing point, and I will use that as a reference for the next trick. So I will go with myself, I will position myself, for example, here. Okay, now I will press Control or Command T, and by holding Alt or Option key, I will click here on the vanishing point, and that's it. And now I'm holding Alt and moving. In the older version of Photoshop, you need to hold Alt and Shift, but in Photoshop CC 2019, you can just hold Alt and move the object or the subject along these lines. And I want to place myself right here, so I will let it go and press enter. So this is a proper size for this perspective plane right here. So I will put myself right here, and this is it. Now I can delete these helper lines and this one too, and that's how you can find the proper size for your subject objects in the scene. Okay, now let's continue by making a shadow for this guy. So first I need to make a shadow for this guy. The main light is coming and the brightest light is coming from behind, so he needs to have like a longer shadow in front of him and some shadows in between the legs. And because some light is coming from this direction, this part of the shadow will be less intense. And in case you didn't saw my video how to create realistic shadows, you can watch it on the link right here. It's a bit older video, but you have all the info there. I'm using all the same techniques here. I will probably fast forward this, I will see, because I don't want to waste your time, you can see my video completely detailedly about that. So what I like to do, I like to create a new layer below the model. So this is shadow, and this is actually shadow number 1, because we'll have 2 or 3, we will see. And I like to use maybe some darker color, like darker blue, okay? Darker blue, this is cool, and maybe I can put it in multiply blending mode. So yeah, this is really cool. And I just want to imagine how the shadow will look like in this situation when the light is coming from behind, and how the shadow will be from above him. So definitely, because the light is really low, the shadow will be really long. So the shadow will go from here definitely to somewhere here, okay, then from this leg here, and from this leg somewhere here. So this is how the shadow will practically go. And if we go back to the Lightroom, to the photo that I use, you can see I have a shadow from behind, and it's casting here between the legs, and this shadow is not so visible because this light is a bit brighter, but I will make that light not so bright because I want to emphasize that this shadow is more visible. So this is it. I will just populate this, and of course first I want to make this shadow from knee to the leg, like it's going like this somewhere here, okay, and just to paint all of this. Okay, so that's cool. And also I want to fix this part a bit like that, and here. You don't need to be like 100% precise, but try to do your best. Okay, so now that we have all of this, now we can start to add some elements here. So we have this pocket, something like this. It doesn't need to be, as I already said, like 100% precise. We have the knife, and here with the handle, etc. And because the shadow is really long, we will have that much more up. So here we have the part of the jacket, something like this, okay, and we can try to make some more imperfections here and there with maybe a bit bigger brush, or I will show you another way how you can do that. So here we will have maybe something here, and maybe we will have a gun. The arm maybe will go right here, something out like that. I don't know, we will see. And also then we can use the smudge tool, make it smaller. You can choose the strength and just push out some parts, just to have like some imperfections. It's not like a straight shadow. Okay. And also what I like to do, I like to blur some parts of the shadow, because the more you go away from the model, the shadow will be more blurred. So I can use blur tool and just try to blur it. This will blur to a certain value and then it will stop. Or you can go and do the next trick that I already showed you in one of previous tutorials. I will use a smudge tool, and I can just go and smudge this like this, and it will blur more. Okay, I will fast forward this definitely. Alright guys, so this is how it looks for now, and I will create a layer mask, and also I will reduce the opacity of it like that. And on this layer mask I will use this gradient tool with black to transparent, so black to transparent, and just make something like this, because I want to fade out this part of the shadow because of the light. So this is cool. I can maybe lower the opacity overall. I will leave it like this for now and we will see later. And then I will create a new shadow. So this is shadow number 2. And this will be like more a contact shadow and some shadow in between, more darker. So I will again use the same multiply blending mode with the same color, and I will just lower the opacity to maybe 20. And I want to have like really soft brush like this, maybe even 10, not 20. So I will paint. As you can see here, original, we have more shadows. So we have like stronger shadow here, more harsh, then we have like softer shadow here, and we cannot see the shadow right there, etc. But there it is, and one shadow behind, but I will not create that. So I will just use a little bit harder and just make this and this shadow here below the shoe, below this boot. I will make it stronger. If you mess something up, you want to remove some parts of the shadow, you can create a layer mask and just slowly remove that. I want to make darker shadow here, definitely, and definitely here, and I want to remove some part of the shadow here. And that's basically it. I will stop here, guys, but you can play a bit more and make even better shadows, but for now this is pretty cool. All right, now let's go to this guy, and I will go and use the same tricks. I just want to group first this, Control Command G, name this Kraka, right click, and I will use the blue color, and then I will go here, create a new layer below that, shadow, and again I will use shadow number 1, and I will use go and use exactly the same trick that I did with this guy. I will create one like ambient shadow and one contact shadow, and that's it. I will just fast forward this. Guys, I'm using now 10% opacity brush and building up this slowly, because here the light is coming practically from the front, and this guy, myself, I will not have like a big shadow on our left side, but I will just create a small shadow to have more impression, like I'm more glued to the ground. So this is cool, and that's it. So I will, let me show you before and after. This is really cool. I will now group everything here, and I will name this Nemanja, like myself, and I will put this red color on. So, and the background I will put, maybe I will have a group, I will see later. So this is basically it. So now let's do some fun stuff. Like, let's create some fire muzzle on the gun right here. So how to do that? First I will go to Kraka here and create a new layer, and I will name it muzzle. Okay, and I will just draw that using my cloud smoke dust brush that I created a way ago. So if you don't know how to create your own custom cloud dust smoke brush, you can go and watch my tutorial about that on the link right here, or you can go to my website, you have the link down there in the description, and you can purchase my set of cloud dust smoke brushes for just $1. It's up to you. Okay, now let's go back to the tutorial, and I will just right click and choose my cloud dust brushes, and I will choose maybe this one for a start. As you can see, this is really cool, and I will choose some colors. So maybe I will choose lighter yellowish color for a start, like that, and make a smaller brush, and I just want to create a shape for the muzzle, so something like a Christmas tree, something like that will be cool. Okay, and this is it. Yeah, this is cool. And also I will go with another brush right here and just add like more glowing shape, just a bit. Okay, something like that. Now I will use one really cool trick. I will lock the transparency of this layer. So what does that mean? That means that if now I'm painting out of this layer, nothing will happen. But if I paint inside this layer, I will paint with that color. So I can just paint inside the borders, the boundaries of the layer if you lock the transparency. Okay, now I will make this brush a bit bigger, and I will just go and create this kind of color around it, like bright red. And to be sure that I'm doing the right job, I will just go with this to screen blending mode, because this will eventually be in a screen blending mode. And now I can play with this. Maybe I want to change the color later or whatever. I can maybe go with a bit brighter color, almost white, and make this more white, this inside part like that. I can just press Ctrl or Command U to bring this hue and saturation adjustment layer, and I can just go and change maybe the size, maybe add more saturation and something like this. And then again play with some brightness. I will use completely white, so here everything will be so bright. This is really cool. So this is one muzzle, and I can transform it. Press Ctrl Command T and just maybe transform it like this. Go to warp and just make this part a bit wider. Why not? And this is my custom-made gun fire muzzle. Really cool. Also, you can lower the opacity if you want, or do whatever you want, but for now I will leave it like that. And I will copy this. I will unlock the transparency, and I will copy this by pressing Ctrl Command J, and I will move it all the way down to my group, because I will need it for myself too. But let's right click and make it red, and I will just move it right here and press Ctrl or Command T, make it smaller. And I want to have it like exactly the same shape. I want to make it smaller, like it's just fired, so it's not the same size. Maybe to just reshape that, press enter, and this is really cool. So I have a smaller muzzle like that. This is really cool. And on this gun right here, I will not create that, I will just create the smoke. Like the gun is just fired and here is the smoke, so I will use this brush. I will use white color, and yeah, white color, that's cool. And I will just do like that. Now I can see. And this is cool. This is something that I like. So I can lower the opacity a bit, something like this, and I can leave it like that. Of course you can experiment, you can add a layer mask, and just with the same brush you can maybe remove some parts. Try it, whatever fits best for your needs. You can also transform it and warp it, maybe like this. So this is cool. This gun is just fired and it's smoking. I can lower the opacity a bit too. Now we will create some laser beams from the gun. This is really cool and easy to do. So I will create a new layer. This is number 1. And for that I will use just a regular brush, a little bit softer like this. Cool, 100% opacity and red color. So this will be a laser beam, but I need to find a proper size. I have a better idea. I will use a pen tool. So P on a keyboard for a pen tool, and this will be the part from which the laser will go out. So this is it. I can press and hold Control or Command to make a proper angle. So let me see. This is cool, maybe a bit more up like that. Then I can create another one here and go all the way here like that and that. Press Control, Enter, and now to fill it with the foreground color, Alt or Option key with a backspace, and that's it. We have our first laser. Now I will put this into screen blending mode and lower the opacity even more. So this is cool. Now let's go to another one, number 2, and again pen tool, go right here, from here all the way here. So let me see, this is okay, but this time I will make this part a bit wider than this right here, because the perspective here will be a bit wider. Maybe I will need to make it more, we will see. Fill it with the red, put it into screen blending mode and lower the opacity a bit. So I really like it. So I have 2 cool laser beams, and let's create a third one here. So actually I can delete this and use this one, Alt or Option key to copy it, move it right here, and this is it. So I just need to change the angle. Let me see, this is cool. And I need to transform this to make it smaller. So let's go here. Like that. Okay. Move it right here. Position it on the right place. As you can see, it's only 1 pixel wide, so it's crazy. But it's enough, and maybe to boost the opacity all the way to 100%. And this looks cool. I can maybe try to rotate it. Put the rotation point right here and rate it a little bit up. That's cool. And also it needs to go right here. So this is cool. Right now we have laser beams, we have a smoke, we have gunfire muzzles, we have everything, a lot of cool things. Now we'll create a smoke right here. So let's go to the background down below and create a smoke. And now is a perfect time to make a group from the background in the smoke. Control Command G, and this is background, right? And now let's go with the smoke. I will use my brush, this one, white color, and just create some kind of smoke. And here is hit it with something. I can use the black color too, and maybe add more like a black smoke from here, and then on the top more white, just combine black and white, and this is cool. So I have a smoke right there, maybe a bit wider and something like this. Okay, as I already said, you can try and few times and make different shape of the smoke, different density, etc. It's completely up to you. Alright, now let's add some robots. So let's go right here and use this guy. So I will copy it and paste it just above the background. Let's collapse these groups for now. And I will paste the robot right there. Name this robot. Okay, and now he's too big, obviously, but I will make him smaller. And I will put him somewhere here. This is the first guy. So this is the one that will be maybe hitted. Okay, and I will make a copy with Control Command J, Control Command T, Control or Command T, right click, flip horizontal, and I will make this guy smaller and put him all the way back here. And also I'll put below this guy, so here's behind him. And also I will create a layer mask and use a pen tool to just do this. I just want to hide the legs like he is behind the wall, like this, and fill the layer mask with the black, Alt and backspace, and that's it. So I will now make him a bit smaller, even more, and let me see, something like this, but you can experiment and see the proper size. Maybe like this, like he's all over there, and I will unlink this so I can move him down. He's all over there looking what other robots are doing, exploding, etc. And to make the impression that this guy is exploded or whatever, let's go and find some images. So this is the first one. I will place it right here. This is explosion. Okay, make it smaller. Control or Command T. Just make it smaller like this and put it in a screen blending mode. And this is like the robot parts that are going off this robot. That's cool. Also I'll create a layer mask, and with a black brush, soft one, I just want to remove this because I don't want this clean straight cut. That's cool. Maybe somewhere here. And also I want some sparkles, some sparks like this. And oops, I didn't paste it, I need to unlock it. Control C, Control V, make it smaller like that, put it in a screen blending mode, and make it even smaller, like explosion is going there. And also you can see that the screen blending mode will remove all black colors, but because this is not 100% black, I will press Ctrl or Command L to lower the levels like this and just boost the blacks and boost the highlights, so I have this brighter. And this is really cool, so I have this explosion maybe even smaller, like that. Okay, so this is really cool. What I like to do now, I like to add even more parts to the scene. Like this guy, the Kraka, is shooting on some robots right here. So of course, because I have only one guy, one robot, we'll need to experiment with this guy. So I'll just make a copy, Control or Command J. And what I like to do, I like to cut out just a part of the robot. So I will use the lasso tool and I will just cut the part of this arm, maybe this thing here too, and press Control or Command J. Okay, this is one thing, as you can see. And what I can do, I can rotate it like this, maybe flip vertical. Okay, make it a bit smaller and put it right here for now. And I want to cut the head from this guy too, so I'm using the lasso tool again and just tracing the head, press Ctrl Command J, and I have a head. So I can press Ctrl or Command T, move the head down. I want to place it on the floor, but I want to flip it vertically like this, so this can fit the floor. Maybe make it a bit smaller, like this, and position it somewhere. Here is cool. Now we need to paint the light and the shadows on this head and on this arm, because now it's completely off the scene, and we need to paint the light on these robots too. So I have a full tutorial on that, how to paint the lights on your models. I will now go really fast over this, maybe even fast forward. And if you want to see more detail about that, check out this tutorial right here. So I will just go and use, for example, exposure tool, make everything darker, and now invert it, and I will just paint the shadows right here. Because this part needs to be brighter, because the main light is coming from this direction and the robots will be lit from the left side. So I want to make the right side darker. Alright guys, so as you can see, before and after much better. We can do the same for the other guy right here. I can use again exposure, clip it to affect only that guy, make it darker, invert it, and just paint some dark parts on his left side. This is a little bit quick and sloppy job. You need to really zoom it and just paint up the half of these things. Another half needs to be bright, but you got a point. So this is really easy and straightforward, what you need to do right here. And that's basically it. I'm just rushing a bit because of the time of this tutorial, because it's already a longer one. But this is cool. So before and after, this side is darker and this side is brighter, definitely, like this. Okay, and let's do the same for the head. So this is head and this is arm part. Okay, so head will have the same exposure, adjustment layer, clip it to affect only the robot head, make it darker like this, and now invert it, Control Command I, and I want to paint the shadows here, but I'm using 10% opacity brush and just slowly building the effect. If this is not too dark enough and you already painted with completely white color, you just need to go right here and lower the exposure even more. Guys, if this tutorial is too advanced for you, if this is too hard for you, go and watch my other photo manipulation tutorials so you can follow along with this. This is not a tutorial meant for beginners, so I understand completely if this is a bit more advanced for you, but just go and there are a bunch of photo manipulation tutorials that I already did. Just go and watch a few others to make yourself more comfortable, to gain some more skills and knowledge about photo manipulations, and then go back here and you will understand this much better. So this is okay-ish for now, and I need to build a shadow right here. So as you can see, we need to have similar shadow like this, but because the light is more up, let me show you a really cool trick. Because the light is more up, it will go hit the robot right here and it will land somewhere here. So we need to have shadow in the triangle shape, something like this, similar like those rocks. As you can see, those rocks have a shadow in almost triangle shape. So let's delete this, and I will use the same technique. I will use this color maybe a bit darker. Okay, put it in a multiply blending mode, and with a really soft brush I will just slowly paint the shadow here, and I will again just fast forward this. Okay, and I will create a new shadow just below this one, shadow number 2. This is shadow number 1, and I will paint this even more dark. I will paint it darker, more harsh, harder brush, and just like a contact shadow of this head, like this. This is cool. Okay, so this is almost it. You can play a bit more with the shadows on the head right here, like making these parts a bit darker too, like that, and maybe these parts, because this will less be hit with light, etc. But you got a point. So this is not like, the point of this tutorial is not me making a perfect image, but rather showing you the techniques and methods how you can do that on your own, because this takes time, guys. So to be able to make this perfectly, I definitely need to spend even more time, and I don't want this tutorial to be so long. Okay, so this is it. Let's go with the arm part right here and create a shadow. Actually, sorry, not create a shadow, create exposure adjustment layer and clip it to effect only that, make it darker, invert control command I, and just go right here and slowly again build the effect. So basically I will make everything dark like this, and then I will use a black brush and I will make some parts brighter, definitely, because the light is hitting this, the other light, and this will not be like completely in dark, and this upper part right here will be completely bright like this. This is cool. Also maybe here will be a bit brighter, and maybe here, etc. So this is the arm, and let me see, the overall image looks pretty nice. What I like to do more, I like to go with this head and to select everything that is head and make it a bit bigger like that. And also let's put some sparkles inside to make the impression that this is like exploding, etc. So let's go and find a proper image. I will use this one. I will just copy this. Actually, I will use the whole image. So Control A, Control C, or Command and Control Command V. And because I don't need this guy right here, I will go and use the levels, Control Command L, to make everything black like this. And let me see, like this. I just want to emphasize some parts. So this is cool. I will press OK, put this in a screen blending mode and make it even smaller and put it here inside. So make it even smaller like this, maybe rotate it, and yeah, something like it's going out of this. And we can maybe make a smoke too. So this is smoke, just white smoke with my smoke brush, just a little bit that is going going out of here, nothing special, but it will add overall effect. I really like it. Put it down below the sparkles. Yeah, this is cool. Also, we can go right here and add similar. So we can add a similar layer, actually the same photo, but on the other side, let me see this where the arm part is, about that, right here. Control Command T, make it smaller, right click, flip horizontal, and just put it somewhere here like this, put it in a screen blending mode, and also use levels, Control Command L, and boost the blacks, and maybe let's go back and maybe boost the highlights. Yeah, boost the highlights too. And this is the robot that is shot from this side, so this is cool. Also, guys, you can add even more elements if you want. If you're creating something like this, similar or something completely different, make sure that add those small elements, small details that I will catch eventually, but the overall image will look more fulfilled, better impression, overall better impression when the viewer will look at your final image. So this is cool. What I like to do right here with this arm part, I want to blur it like it's flying. So blur, motion blur, and go here, find the proper angle. Oh, this is almost cool. And just blur it a bit like it's flying away. This is cool. Also, I can blur myself here. Let me show you this. So let's first select all of these things and group it, Control Command G. Let me see, all of this should represent robots. Yeah, this is robots. And I want to put this into gray because robots are gray. All right, let's go here to myself. And what I like to do, I like to go with a filter, blur, and motion blur. And because this is a smart object, I will have a smart filter and I can always change the amount. So this is a blur. And like I'm sliding and I'm a little bit in the motion, so this is cool. I can also go and add curves adjustment layer to dodge it a bit, brighten myself up a bit, invert the mask, Control Command I, and then with a regular soft round brush, maybe 10% opacity, I just want to make some parts here brighter, like a global dodging and burning. You can see just a bit. Okay, this is cool. Before and after, yeah, and I will do the same for other guy here. So curves, clip it to affect only him, make it brighter, invert it, and go right here and just make everything a bit brighter. So all the shadows, the guns, everything. So this is, let me see, before and after. Yeah, this is really cool. So this is almost it. Right, I will stop here definitely because this tutorial is already too long, and now I will do a final color grading and finalize the image so that we can finish this episode for today. Okay, let's collapse all the groups first, and then let's merge everything into one new layer with a famous keyboard shortcut, Shift Control Alt E or Shift Command Option E on a Mac. And now we can convert this into Smart Object 2. Why not? You will see the reason. So we can go to Camera Raw Filter right now, and let's play here with some things. First, I want to open the shadows a bit, right? To add a contrast and to add a texture. You can see the difference. I really love to add a texture, but not too much. And clarity. For this image, the clarity is really nice to add. Also lower the saturation and maybe vibrance less, just a bit. Okay, and I can go to vignetting and add a bit of vignetting and feather it also. Then to split toning, and I like to add some kind of bluish color in the shadows, so overall bluish tint. This is really cool. And also I can sharpen this a bit, holding Alt or Option key to see only white parts will be sharpened, so I can decide what will be sharpened, but something like this will be cool, and lower the radius. So this is it. And let me see, I can go right here and maybe boost the blacks even more, open this, and this is it. Let's press OK. So let's see, before and after, before and after. So this is the beauty of having this as a smart filter. You can double click on camera raw and you can go back and change whatever you want. I can maybe go to brush tool and reset everything, so reset local adjustments and lower saturation and go right here. And I don't want this guy to be, myself to be so saturated, so I want to desaturate a bit everything like this, especially the green parts. And I don't want this green to be so saturated, so I can see I can just play with slider, really cool. And let me see, yeah, much better. So yeah, this is really cool. And this is it, this is before and after, really cool. Also I can just crop it to maybe 16:9 and you can see the robots and everything behind the canvas size, and I can move it more down and rotate it a bit, maybe like that to fit inside here. And that's it. Press OK and see the result. Yeah, it's a little bit tilted and I really love the effect. It's a little bit more intense for me, and this is basically it. This is our final result for this tutorial. You can tweak it even more and have even better result like I did it for my final version. As you can see here on the screen, it's almost the same, but I spent a bit more time to tweak this, and that's it. And that's it, guys, for today. I really hope that you like this episode and that you learn a lot of interesting tips, tricks and techniques from this one that you can later use in your own images, in your own projects. Also, guys, if you appreciate this content, if you like this episode, just press the like button down below, share it with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe in case you're not already, and also ring that bell to get notified about all the future episodes. In case you want to help me to make this channel even bigger and better, you can do that by visiting my Patreon page. The link is down there in the description, and also you will get some things in return like my PSD files, etc., so you can check it out. I want to say a huge thank you to all my Patreon supporters. Because of you guys, I'm able to keep this channel alive, so your help means a lot to me. Thank you so much. Also, guys, if you have some questions regarding to this episode, just leave me down there in the comment section below. I will be glad to answer it. Practice, experiment, have fun, and see you guys in my next fun episode. Bye bye.